So guys, as we await the judgment of the judiciary, I'll be giving us a breakdown of Peter Obi and the Labour Party's prayer to the court that he won the election. The petition jointly filed by Peter Obi, the Labour Party and Dati Baba Ahmed contains 5 prayers divided into 2 categories, which are 2 main prayers and 3 alternative prayers. In their main prayers, Peter Obi and Labour Party urged the court to declare Tinubu and Shettima unqualified to contest the 2023 presidential election. They also urged the court to declare that Tinubu did not score the majority of the lawful votes cast in the election. So their case borders on 1. The case of forfeiture. According to their prayer, Tinubu was not qualified to run for election as president because he forfeited $460,000, which was fine for an offense involving narcotics trafficking imposed by the United States District Court. In this case, they relied among others on Section 137, subsection 1E of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which states that a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of president if before the date of the election to the office of president he has been convicted and sentenced for an offense involving dishonesty, or he has been found guilty of the contravention of the Code of Conduct. They therefore prayed that Tinubu be disqualified. Peter Obi and LP's second prayer is on Shettima's double nomination. According to them, Shettima was still the Borno Central senatorial candidate and vice presidential candidate, which is against the provision of the law, which states that in such situation, a presidential candidate shall nominate another person as his associate who is to occupy the office of vice president. Because of this, they also prayed to the court to disqualify Tinubu and Shettima. Thirdly, on the 25% FCT votes, Peter Obi and the Labour Party said that Tinubu was not duly elected by majority of the lawful votes cast at the time of the election. They also argued that Tinubu did not win up to 25% votes in Abuja, which is required for one to be declared winner in a presidential election in Nigeria. This, according to them, is in accordance to Section 134, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which states that a candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there have been more than 2 candidates for the election. He has the highest number of votes cast at the election and he has not less than 1/4, that is 25% of the votes cast at the election, each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the federation and the federal capital territory. So their prayer here is that Tinubu did not get up to 25% votes in Abuja, so there is no ground on which INEC should declare them as winner of the 2023 presidential election. In their fourth prayer, they told the court that Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast in the election for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which was held on the 25th of February 2023, and therefore declaring him as winner of the election are unlawful, unconstitutional, and of no effect whatsoever. They also prayed the court to determine that based on the valid votes cast at the presidential election, Peter Obi scored the highest number of votes cast at the election and not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the Federation and Abuja, and ought to be declared and returned as the winner of the presidential election. They therefore prayed the court to order INEC to issue the certificate of return to Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed as a duly elected president and vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In their fifth prayer, they told the court that the presidential election, which was conducted on 25th of February 2023, is void on the ground that the election was not conducted substantially in accordance with the provisions of the Electoral Act. They also prayed for an order cancelling the presidential election, which was conducted on the 25th of February 2023, and mandating INEC to conduct a fresh election for the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So guys, this is Peter Obi's detailed prayer to the courts, which was backed up with sections of the Constitution and the Electoral.
So guys, the level of damage done by INEC to the Nigerian people is unimaginable. So we all know that we are in the court of appeal. We all know that the election tribunal is here to decide what we should take out of this election. If Tinubu should remain the president of Nigeria, or if this election should be cancelled. Some people say there should be a runoff, meaning Peter Obi should run with either Atiku or Tinubu. When you go by INEC's declaration, INEC declared that Tinubu had the highest number of votes, which is what we are in the court contesting, meaning that Tinubu has to run with the next person who has the highest number of votes. Atiku cannot run with Tinubu because the constitution says that the person who is to run with Tinubu will be the person that has the highest majority of votes from more states. Now, Peter Obi cleared the whole of Southeast and also cleared Delta State and Edo State. Peter Obi had majority, more than 50% out of these 6 states. Atiku could only win 50% in 4 states, while Peter Obi had 50% in 6 states. And then the next step we should be looking at with Nigerians is Tinubu's certificate. Is Tinubu isn't qualified to be president, as in considering the controversies around his certificate? The certificate he submitted to INEC is different from the one that a subpoena brought to court. Remember, the University of Chicago was subpoenaed to provide Tinubu's result. And it was discovered that there was a huge difference between what was submitted to INEC and what was gotten, original copy that was gotten from the school. So, putting this into perspective, you can see that Tinubu is going to be disqualified. And don't forget, the judge who disqualified other people that had issue of forgery is still in the court of appeal. I mean, he is still a working judge. So he cannot sit down and see this kind of impunity being overlooked. It means that if Tinubu is disqualified tomorrow, Peter Obi will only be the last man standing. The question now is, should Peter Obi automatically be made a president? Or should we start this election all afresh? Fellow Nigerians, this is just an eye-opening to the extent that INEC destroyed, the little resources that we have. We all know that Nigeria, if at all we've not gone bankrupt, we are about to go bankrupt. As in, there is no money. Very soon we'll start struggling to pay salaries. But you can imagine the little we have, INEC played with it. I mean, INEC played with the hard earnings of Nigerians, the sweat of Nigerians. These are people's tax. These are taxpayers' money. If at all the judges really want to do justice to this case, Peter Obi is the only man neutral, without much argument.
So guys, this is Peter Obi's detailed prayer to the courts, which was backed up with sections of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. Please guys, do well to share with us your thoughts about this video, like this video, and please do well to subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we post a new video and a new update. Please guys, remember that all eyes are currently on the judiciary so they can be able to do the right thing and dispense correct judgment.